Even though the roof of this 1960 Ford Thunderbird had been sawed away, it still had a lot of perfect parts and pieces that we couldn't pass up. We always say we want to be the last line of defense before the dumpster, but in this case, we were the last line of defense before the shredder. Before we ever make our first cut on this vehicle, we've done so many in the past, crawl up underneath and start removing the fuel tank, and that takes forever. We figured the back end would look great hanging on somebody's wall. But it's not the first time we've cut cars apart and also caught vehicles within minutes before going to the shredder. This was a 1963 Olds 98, eventually ended up on the wall of an apartment, but it looked great with all its original patina restored and protected. This 1963 Ford Fairlane mounted nicely on the wall, completely rewired, and waxed to a nice finish. Then there was the 1967 Datsun, which had a lot of character, you might say. We made a shelf out of that one. And in a pasture in the Panhandle was this 1939 Chevrolet. This took all day. To take the side off of this car was about the only thing we could do. It was in such bad shape, but we took the instrument panel as well. Once the back end was taken off, I figured might as well take the front end off too. Figured both of those would look good on somebody's wall, as well as the instrument panel and the middle console from the 1960 Ford Thunderbird. Couldn't pass it up. You can't help but think that car could have had another future had someone not haphazardly sawed the roof off. One vehicle we spotted would not have such a happy ending. This beautiful GMC pickup was taken to the scrapyard, and we were not allowed to touch it. It went into the crusher and the shredder. To us, that's nothing short of tragic. But sometimes you can save them, sometimes you can't. But both ends of the Thunderbird ended up in our space at Vintage Marketplace, Abilene. It's a nice ending when you're the last line of defense before the shredder.